Okay, good morning. Hello and welcome. I'm Jennifer Blackard,
And I'm Leon Karina.
and this is the How It Hustle Morning Show. Today we're talking about those three deep-seated lies that tend to drive us so that we're not actually living our life.
Yeah.
I mean, and I wanted to call this Your Future is Calling. Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you taking the answer? Are you answering that call?
Yeah.
Right. It's really exciting. But one of the things that I thought that was really profound in the information that you wrote up today
Mhm.
for the three secret lies that happen to kind of behold us and keep us back from actually having the blessings of our timeline, right? Our highest timeline.
I think that's well said. So what are the lies? So, and I feel that it's so important for you guys to look in your own life as we say this and go, okay, where have I possibly bought that? Where did I believe that? How might my life be totally
Mm.
different if I didn't believe it?
Hmm.
And we'll share how it's affected our lives. And I just have this weird sense that this all started by us being controlled way, way back in the day. So the first lie is the obvious one. I'm not good enough. Let's just start there
Okay.
with the first lie,
Okay.
because I think that's the deepest rooted of them all. So how many times in your life have you thought, dude, I'm not good enough? Like a godzillion, right? And it's not maybe not exactly those words, or maybe it's just this inherent, I can't.
Yeah. I think for me, it wasn't, I'm not good enough per se, but it was, I'm not good enough for XYZ. So
Uh-huh.
insert an actual thing that I was trying to accomplish, whether when I was younger, I always wanted to sing.
Uh-huh.
And as I'm a little girl, but my heroes were Whitney Houston, right? And she's like the most best, beautiful singer in all of Earth, right? Like arguably, right? And I'm comparing myself to Whitney
Mhm.
Houston as a
Yeah.
young child.
Yeah.
And so I would insert myself, I'm not good enough to sing,
Yeah.
right? To show up. And instead, I could have just been me, right? I could have just been Lianka at my young
Yeah.
7-year-old age. Instead, I wanted to just have this innate thing that I had to hold myself back from. And I think that always impeded my value around
Mhm.
what I thought I could bring to the stage. And instead of just letting my voice just be,
B. And I
right?
think that's what you're going to hear as the common theme on this
Yeah.
one, that this is really about getting you back to just being here without all this story, without
Yeah.
this narrative.
Yes.
So everywhere where you're still giving yourself a hard time because you still have some of this underlying, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I can't do it, and I can never be as good as one of the greats. Would you now let that go, destroy, and then create?
Yes.
1, 2, and 3.
Mm.
I, with this conversation, I think I was, well, let's start here. I was sharing with Leonka before we started the call that over the weekend, my husband and I just kind of sat and we talked about what we want next in our life. And in this conversation around what we want next in our life, it really came down to, I've been on this quote success track for a little while now, where I have literally been trying to collect and create a greater successful life based on these reality standards. It looks like this in your life. You have a house like this, you have a car like this, you have money like this, you can do this, you can travel this, right? That's what this quote, successful life looks like on this reality. And we went as far as to go, well, this successful life that I'm talking about, is this really the life that I want to lead? And it really got down to maybe it's not exactly. There are some pieces that I'm keeping of it, and there are some pieces that I want to change of it. And mostly there's a lot of pieces that I want to add to it. And it makes me question, why haven't I added these pieces before? And comes back to worth at the end of the day. It comes back to fear that I don't think that I can do it. I don't think I can do it good enough. I mean, and it's deep. Like, you've got to have a full conversation to get to this on me, because I've got a really great frontal facade.
Yeah, I can put it up for
Yeah.
days, right? I
Yeah.
can make my outside look beautiful from the outside looking in, but that's it. There have been many days where I've put up that facade, and for years, especially working in corporate, I checked all the boxes. I did all the studious things. I had a very successful career in one of the toughest industries, fun industry, in fact, worked for big names, but all I'm saying now, you hear me saying success, success, success based upon things that are outside of myself, right? I worked for great companies. I had a great career. I had tons of money. I had the house. But all of those things, when I'm checking those boxes, I still felt sadness. I still felt, and I don't know if it's sadness so much as if it was a longing. I still felt this huge gaping hole in my heart that knew that there was something else there for me.
Yeah.
And that's freaking scary, period.
Yeah. Well, and now the scariness goes, I mean, I've got friends in my life now at this age that have terminal illnesses already.
Yep.
And I'm looking at my life going, if I had this, could I really say, did I live? Right? Like, did I live this great adventurous life that I thought I came here to live?
Right.
And, did I love my new future daughter-in-law was in the house yesterday looking at all the adorable baby pictures of my son. And she's like, oh my God, were you just obsessed with him?
Oh.
And I thought, no, because I often was in my own world trying to create a business, trying to feed this kid instead of being the full love.
And that's a common thing. Like, don't,
I know. I'm
that's
not
a common
making
thing.
myself I'm just making it real here.
Yeah, for real. And I thank you for that. I think that people will find this conversation super raw today.
Yeah.
And I invite you to, if you don't want to put it on the chat, to really just at least take the words that we're sharing here today and our vulnerability and look at the questions that we propose for your own self today. A lot of times I find myself, even when I know I need to look at something for myself, I'll look at it for other people. I'll run through, what are they doing wrong? What are they doing right? How can they improve? And then I forget to look at myself, because really what I'm doing is trying to hold up a mirror for myself, but I'll run right past it. And it's scary.
That's judgment, just the question in itself, in a way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And if I can find myself doing that, be like, oh, well, she needs to do this. Who, like the Pope said, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
To love, like, I could love unconditionally and be without judgment love them in their human form, knowing that they have a soul just like mine, without trying to project what they need to be doing in their life. And really, the person that I could be asking these questions of is maybe I do some more, uncovering of my own self.
Yeah. So these are some of the questions we have for you today. Did you And have you done everything, or are you starting to now, to really matter in this world? To really matter to yourself so much that you feel like, wow, I'm ready to die. I have lived my greatest life. And that's just some of the conversation I want to bring up. Now, this is kind of raw in comparison to where we usually go. But I feel that if we can really, like, kind of as a collective, just take these layers and shed them off from like the rawest, deepest, most vulnerable place, then it might be a little bit easier for us to really ascend and have more mystical experiences
Absolutely.
and really have a life that you are like, I'm proud to live. This is my life. And I feel like this is where my head has been lately, and I just really want to bring this conversation up to you even further. When elementary school was, and I did get rid of it about 3 years ago, but it still kind of comes up as a narrative or a story, was I was in an LD class when I was like in 5th grade, and I was only in it for 6 months. And it was really because I couldn't read out loud.
You might have to say what an LD class is.
Oh, it's a learning disability. And since then, it's been changed to a learning disinterest. And I caught this about 3 years ago, and it was our anniversary, and I mentioned to my husband, I feel like I'm constantly, I mean, talk about like pushing a boulder up a hill, constantly trying to prove how good I am, how smart I am, how, I'm just constantly trying to prove these things to other people. And I was trying to prove these things to other people, listen to my words, proving this because I didn't feel that I was it. So how many places and spaces have you been trying to prove how good you are?
Girl, my entire report card since the time I was in kindergarten has been, I've got to make all straight A's.
Yep.
I've got to do this, and I've got to sing for my dinner, especially since I was raised by parents that didn't have me. I also thought that I had to be super studious and super opposite of my parents.
Yeah.
So I was constantly proving. In
Right.
fact, that has bled.
That's like almost like you can't not prove because you've been doing it all your life.
Yes.
So who's ready to give this one up right now?
Ooh.
I mean, what would happen today if we would go into the field and literally take some awesomeness in it with us and blow out these truly identity situations? I mean, this is where our identity starts to be created from. So who's in? Who would like to do that? Yes? All right, let's start with Worth. All the alignments, the agreements that you have made to keep yourself so that you're not the tall poppy, but you are just normal, average, or less than the rest of the world. Everything that brings up, would you now destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And take that in. What would your life be like if you were just born this beautiful, beautiful baby, and you just, every single moment, every single step of your life, you could have trusted upon the world, the frequency to have your back from day one? What if you were actually taught that instead of not? Anything that is Whatever that brings up, would you please destroy and uncreate? 1, 2, and 3.
There's a lot of charge on this.
I know.
A lot.
Quick
And
as
that's
this-
okay.
So, and here's a story for you. You can believe it or not. But what if there really is a techie type
I was just going to say this.
system
I was just going to talk about this.
that is and had been
Yeah.
once brought upon us
Yeah.
to control us so that we would be worker bees?
Mhm.
And what if now those systems are breaking down and it's just a matter of time for us to destroy them entirely and embrace total consciousness?
Anything that doesn't allow you to have that total consciousness.
Yep.
Now, we destroy and create, please.
Please, 1, 2, and 3. Look, we wouldn't even have been aware of this if we had not. We wouldn't even be aware that we had a worthiness issue, like some of the people on this planet still, if consciousness wasn't truly waking up.
Mm.
So how lucky are we to be in a time and space where we don't have to be robots anymore? We can make all these choices. So let's do one on smart. Let's do one on what are some of the other ones that you really feel
Believe I can.
people don't like me is the other one I wrote in the letter. I feel like that's the one of the bigger ones. Nobody likes me.
That everyone else can have that, but I don't know that I can believe it for myself. Right. And we were talking about that as far as value. When you choose not, when you have a value and you know something could be important
or possible.
And you know that do you believe, first of all, that something is possible, right? That you could go and have a successful business selling your artwork, right? And then do you believe that is possible for you?
Yeah.
And so those are the questions that were presented. And I thought, man, that really shows up.
Yeah.
It reads.
Yeah. So how many things have you given up in your life because you thought it wasn't possible for you to do it? How many? And everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Totally demolishing that even existed throughout the whole field. And you guys are going, what was it? How many things did you think might have been possible for somebody else, but not for you? And you gave it up because you just made that conclusion with no evidence whatsoever. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate.
Yes.
This is a depressing call.
No.
You're throwing away some truth. This is deep cleaning.
Yeah, it's a good deep cleaning. That's right. This is empowering. Anything that doesn't allow you to believe or have faith that what we even share here today can change things. Or that it can change things for the person next to you, the person that's across the call from you.
Yeah, it's not going to work for you because you're not good enough and you don't get it.
Or you just don't I don't get it. I don't get what they're saying, so it's not going to change me.
Yeah, you're just doubting this whole thing. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate.
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh.
Holy smokes. Okay. Oof, I feel like I'm like walking through small.
Yeah. Okay. Anything that doesn't allow you to have faith in total consciousness and change for you, within you, through you, by you, we destroy and create now.
To have faith.
No, anything that doesn't allow you to have faith. Anything that doesn't
allow you to let the universe have your back.
I'll let her just be.
Yeah, that's okay. I was taking a sip of coffee.
I know.
That one.
And take a deep breath.
Yes.
That you couldn't be that. have change be through you, by you,
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. One of the questions that we got from a recent event that we went to was, what, I had to say all that just so I could forget the question. Why is it that you do one thing but not another? Like what is the reason that you go for walks, you go into nature, you swim, you bike ride, whatever your thing is? Why is it that you really do that thing and not like some of the things that you actually could be doing to really move the dial forward? Like, why are you watching 4 hours of TV instead of really,
Or doom scrolling.
why are you doom scrolling instead of doing something that really might move the needle forward? Like, what is your thoughts, right? I need the downtime, like whatever comes up with this. Like, just kind of, I don't like it as much, it's boring. Like, it's just so you have awareness
Boredom.
of what you are actually feeling around some of the things that you've concluded are moving the needle forward too. Just kind of interesting to just seek.
And then I thought the other good question around that was, okay, well, what is it that you are valuing more about those things that you are choosing to do than the things that could move the needle forward? Because, and then they had said, basically saying that the things that we are not doing is because we don't assign enough value to them that outweighs some of the other things that we are doing, right?
Right. Like we value gaming and watching TV
Yeah.
over we would value
Social media,
like actually,
I meant like social media for your
actually
business
doing
or
a
something.
task to
Yeah.
grow your life,
Yeah.
planning a trip, things like
Yeah,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Or doing some organizing, getting rid of some stuff, right?
Yeah, making your house more beautiful instead you're watching 4 hours of TV a night. Everything that brings up return and create.
Yes.
That was a long one to get to that
Oh.
one.
And everywhere you assign judgment against yourself for doing those things.
Yeah,
Instead
instead of totally like, I just love it, I love it, I love it. If you're one of those person, this question is not for you here.
It's okay, pick and choose. You know your own truth, right?
Choose your question.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you lush in how you live and you lush in that downtime, then I say there's no wrongness in it. I am saying you need to really choose it from all that you are. Yeah. Whew, my goodness.
Some of the things on the chat basically said, boredom was one of the reasons why they were choosing the other. And here's another one. It was basically I feel like everyone is out to get me. That's one of the other lies that we tend to believe. Yes, and I feel like with the news cycle running so fast, there are a lot of polarities there, and you may feel that a lot of people are out to get you. So everywhere where you feel that,
well, yeah, I have another one that's another way around, but let's do that one first. Go for it.
Anywhere where you feel that everyone's out to get you, whether it be your family, whether it be even your friends, your close colleagues, people at work, the government, your neighborhood, anywhere where you feel that there is a plot against you. Would you be willing to destroy it and create that, please?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please, pretty please. Because that's damaging more than just you.
You don't believe that you have a higher consciousness that rises above that you are much more powerful than that. We destroy and create.
Yes, please. That's a good one.
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because no matter what, even if there was someone plotting against you, let's say at work, right? And they had their own little agendas. Really, that's about them.
Oh,
we have the ability.
Big story around this one.
Go ahead. Let's go.
We are oneness, right? We
Yeah.
are all connected here. If you have a point of view,
yeah, that's goes where I can go with that.
Okay,
go ahead. Yeah.
If you so this is a point of view that quote everyone's out to get me. This is a point of view. If you have that point of view in your frequency, your field, your thought, You can literally be putting that thought in other people's mind, and then they will be out to get you from a frequency standpoint, and a physical standpoint. It can manifest that way. So you need to destroy, when you find those points of view, those are like, destroy that. That is not for you. That is not consciousness in this greatest action. It's consciousness and bringing it to your awareness.
And what are the ways in which we can destroy those? One of them could be using the questioning, where you could be questioning, right? You asking the questions and ask to clear it. Another one could just take it to
flip it.
Yes. Be in coherence, listen to, good, and I don't want to say audios, but like even frequency. Even if you took that in your heart and you go, okay, can I rise above this? Can I have more total consciousness? And anything that doesn't allow you to have that, of course, you can do the clearing there. But then you can also use, sound frequency changes, things that are going to raise your vibration in and around and create a new rewiring in your brain so that you're not staying stuck. And of course, not putting that thought back out to other people for them to have. When we change, everything else around us changes. Period. And then flow. But when we change, people, places, everything else around us, because our viewpoint or our point of view has changed, everything around us has to change. It just has to. It's a law of physics, but it may be gradual or it may be like this. But it depends on how fast we can get to a place of where we're raising our vibration around, in and around those situations. And again, you can use the clearings that we used here today.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to address the one that's on the chat that says, it's hard to feel anything positive or good about me or anything I do. Well, that is why we are doing this, because sometimes in life, something once puts you down, and then you just always conclude that, well, then, that I'm down. It's sort of like, when do you get back up, right? Did you see Captain Marvel? Right? Like she got torn down, she got run over, she, fell, all scrapes, but she always got back up. And it's becoming that resiliency and getting back up to the point that it's like, no, I don't believe in this identity of not feeling a certain way. I don't believe in it anymore. And that's what this is about, truly changing your identity. Like, what if today you literally were a different person? What if today what was inside me was then inside Lianka, and we did a Freaky Friday, right? Like, how might we navigate our lives in a very different way, right? If I would jump into her life today, how might I do her life, right? I would do it the same way I'm currently doing it. I would just look like her.
Or what would you change?
Well, I think it would definitely give me awareness that I might change some things. And when I came back in my own body, I would change. I mean, these are ways we change, is to like really look and ask questions way outside the box of what anybody has ever asked us. People aren't asking these questions to you at the grocery store. You come to a meeting like this so that you can really say, I'm ready. I'm ready to up level. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to grow my galactic gifts. It's time.
Are you sure they're not asking you at the grocery store, how do I grow my galactic gifts? Excuse me. How do I channel my inner self, my higher self?
I sense you're an intuitive. It's like tap, tap, tap. Here's your tomatoes. And I sense that you're an intuitive. Can you tell me how I grow my galactic gifts? I would be like, damn.
I saw an angel.
I'm saying my podcast.
Yeah. And you're right. We're not having these conversations a lot out in the real world. I feel like there's some of it coming up now, right?
Yeah.
But it really takes for us to seek out. And I know everyone here, as I always say, that everyone on these calls is definitely, starseed, all of the beautiful things, light workers, because you have sought out something
Yeah.
like this to seek more answers. One of the things that someone put on the chat that I thought was really interesting, Caesar says, ladies, I want to share something with you. There's a song that keeps repeating over and over. I want to feel what love is. I want to feel what love is. That one. Yeah.
I love that. Wow.
And he says it repeats over and over. Many times our higher self will communicate with us in the ways that we can receive. For some, it's the angel, in the clouds, right? Like the clouds and beautiful things that we see in nature. Others will get them through song. How many people get those messages through song? How many people listen to the messages that they get in song?
Yeah, sometimes I'd say yes. I mean, I think now it's like almost everything is for me, right?
Yeah.
And that means
It is.
I know. I mean, it's and see, that's my point of view too. So of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't used to be, but it is now.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
I like that point of view.
And somebody said, I heard that song twice yesterday. 3 exclamation points.
Holy cow.
What love
Wow.
is. I think that song right there also, it comes from a place of, I want to feel what love is, and we're looking for that outside of ourselves. But what if really the bigger question is, when I want to feel love, can I give that love to myself first and foremost? So I think it's really about, there's the Whitney Houston song is the greatest love of all. Learning to love myself is the greatest love of all.
Yeah.
So I think that when we have those gaping hearts, it's because we forget to really connect with the God within. And when we do those places is where we find our value, our self-worth feel diminished.
Yeah.
So, look at some of that too, because they could be our higher selves telling us, reconnect with you, find those places in your heart that need consoling, and then reconnect with maybe your inner child. Where there was we did calls on that of how to do that. Use the clearings, fall forward is the way I always say, right? Yeah. All weak speakers say, but when you fall forward, you can also find places where we have gained and grown from each experience. This is the reason why we are having this human experience. It's not if we are oneness, yes, but if we were already just whole, we are whole and complete. Let me say all this better. We came here with these gaping, searching hearts so that we could find that oneness within each other and bond. And if we didn't need this experience, well, then God wouldn't have had us be fractured and come to earth. It was for a beautiful reason that we are having all of these experiences. Yeah. And having this journey of unworthiness. And yes, there very well could be the programming that happened eons ago where we were meant to be worker bots and slaves. And what is the best way to keep people in distress and win and in this striving is to keep us enslaved and to keep you in fear and to keep you unworthy. And so if we're programmed that way, we now have the ability to connect with our higher selves and reprogram ourselves and through different ways.
I love it. I'm just like flatlined for a second. I feel like, my God, that's so deep.
Well, thank you, Caesar, for bringing up the song and sharing that with us.
Well,
and
that's
thank
so
you.
gorgeous. The other, I wanted to address, Dana said the veil is still thin from Easter. That's why the Pope chose to leave now. And it's funny, my dad, he he died the 14th of April in 2017, right before Easter that year. And I remember being called to, I stood up at his funeral and I spoke about, you know, there is no surprise that my dad chose to go and say goodbye, to this physical on Easter, the Easter week. And it's like everyone in the back just nodded. They're like, yeah,
Oh,
because that's who he was. And I just, I don't know if people remember that about him, but I thought, yeah, well, I mean, a pope to leave on Easter, that's kind of a beautiful thing, to go over the Rainbow Bridge. And I just, I think that's so true. And I think that our veils around this topic, it's now time to totally give it up. Like, look at your life. Who would you be if you grew up always knowing that you were smart? Let's start there because that one's not as deep as worthy. What if you grew up always knowing that you were, you could do it. You were physically fit. You could climb mountains. You were healthy as a horse, right? What if you actually knew these? And then going on down, what if you thought everyone did like you? You know, what if that whole nobody likes me, everyone's against me thing? What if that's the lie that you made up to protect yourself one day and you just kept saying it over and over and over again because you felt at one point that you needed protection? Like, what if that's all it was? And you just like fired and wired your synapses together so many times that you've now become it. It's become your identity. It's become your personality. Everything that brings up, would you destroy and uncreate it, please?
yes.
1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. In the End of the White Lotus, they said, like one of the older men that's contemplating suicide goes to the monk and he says, what is it like to die? And he said, well, think of yourself as this drop of rain, and now you're just being given back to the ocean. And it's like you come home. And I thought that was just so beautifully said, that it was, that is what we actually are. And yet we still think that we're fighting against everyone else in this reality for something. And if you look at all these conditions that we've talked about here that are inside a lot of our identities, isn't that really just us being fractured, as Leonka just said, so that we could really find out who we are when we become whole? Just some things to think about. You guys might want to re-listen to this call. There's a lot of questions in it. Bring a journal.
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
there's a lot.
But for time's sake, I do want to share with you guys an invitation that Leonka and I've worked really hard on making this invitation something for everyone, and something that you can kind of piecemeal together if you want, and choose the things that you love doing and the things that are going to really move the needle forward in your life. So I'm going to unveil the new and improved Mystique
Yay.
Society.
Exciting.
And
It's
I think
exciting
you're going to love this.
It's gone through a lot of iterations, and we're really, really proud of what we put together and the different ways in which someone could participate
Yeah.
that really fits their needs. And
let me just say, those of you that are already a part of it, thank you, because you are like really,
yeah,
inspiring us in every single way, every single day.
yeah.
The Facebook community has been truly, truly fun. and just that you share things and signs, and
Yeah.
so I'm glad we have that, and we're going to have a
questions.
whole lot more
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
So I would simply start this like, your timeline is calling. Are you ready to choose it? Like that is really at the essence what we really feel like. Yes, we are ascending to our greatest self in all kinds of ways from, earth up. And I think that those of you that are in the community know that. Yeah, and here's my, honest thoughts when I was looking at this. Like, look, we don't need another personal development mastermind. Like, we are beyond that, right? We are beyond needing, like, this is really a mastermind to come from your galactic family and contribute from that
There you
place
go.
in the field, not just like, oh, let me destroy and uncreate this and that. And I do think that's a part of it, like we just did some
Right.
of that, but this is quite beyond that. You had a good little taster, but let me tell you, this is a lot different. And it's really, if you know me, it's based on frequency. And I wanted it to be more like a frequency playground for anyone, and especially for those of us that are visionaries and mystics and multi-dimensional mavens. And I really have felt like I'm personally done fitting into a box and pretending that I'm in the success box of my life when I know that there's so much more. And I was sharing with Lianka that it was literally like,
Cher's clapping. Yay, just throwing a fist. Yes, yes, fist bumps. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's some bullet points on what I really felt like. Why is Mystique so different?
Yeah.
And it took a minute for me to come up with it. But, we do an activation. It's a 2-hour meeting, and we do an activation every single time. So it's like a whole embodied experience, for the lack of a better word. And it's really about you entering this energetic portal where you feel it in your bones. And I know that some of you that are in it already know this, but for some of you that don't, we have a lot of fun in there. And I want you to at least have an opportunity to try it. So I wrote down kind of the 5 reasons why our howdies stay. And I feel like they stay because they have actually seen quantum leaps
In their lives.
in their gifts, in their changes. I feel like I know that is true.
Yes.
I also feel like they love kind of the luxy. I didn't know, maybe ritual is not the best word, but kind of this luxy place where we get to just be anyone.
Yes.
There's no us holding back and trying to show that we have to prove anything to anybody else, or prove that, our sign is really a sign.
Yeah, right.
Right? There's this no judgment zone.
That's exactly it.
And it's just like we can be whoever we are.
And that's the true lux. That's the real flex.
Yes.
All the kids are saying the word flex. Yeah, that's the real flex, is the ability to, not have to flex, and to be just loved for exactly who we are and where we are in our journey. I don't have all the answers. Janet has done this for so much longer than I have, which is why, she leads this, right, this charge with us, and starts the show off. But what I was trying to say is that I don't ever feel that I'm competing in any way with Janet, with anybody else that's had this beautiful journey for so long and all the right things to say, because what I contribute, which each one of you contributes, is exactly perfect when we come together in this really magical energetic portal. Yeah. Because that is how we're supposed to. I know. We all have a different signature resonance. And what we do each Wednesday that we have that meeting is we celebrate each person's different signature resonance, and we expand upon that. That was well said. It's also like our, Wednesday night cosmic gossip group, where we get to like talk about things that we've maybe heard or read in the news, and UFOs and aliens.
we'll go anywhere
Yes.
in these conversations. So that's kind of fun. But I think this one is kind of the most fun of them all. It's like I finally found my people feeling.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, dude, why don't you live next door? Let's like sit, let's sit and have a war room every day because you're like my best friend.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know I found you. I see you. You see me. That kind of feeling. I mean, it's like we'll have the story of like, that you may not have even told anyone because you felt so weird about it. And it's like, I had this really mystical experience where, I was visited by a UFO and I had no idea at the time, right? And I just thought it was, me being kind of like off or something, that kind of thing. Or someone will say they drove by, an old ancient gravesite and then had this experience. And we're like, yes, tell me more, right? And then other people will contribute with like, what I see from that for you is really beautiful because we've got a room full of psychics.
Yeah.
And they bring out the other psychic abilities within each other. And it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. And I think the last one is, I like to think that this is true, and hopefully some of you guys that are in the group will validate it, but I feel like it gets you to the point where you've got this like certainty that whatever you're asking to change, it's coming to you. It's almost inevitable.
I like that. That's the word right there. I like that.
So I felt like those were really the 5 points. I wrote down here about like, I like really lived with this mastermind group. I just want you to know for quite a while. I really want to write it up from even how you guys would write this up, right? So, here's some of the things that, what you'll experience: some clarity, intuition, channeling, abilities to grow, and mostly what I think is creative flow. And here's some of the ways that I believe you're going to start feeling clear, connected, aligned with your purpose, really being present. You're going to activate this heightened intuition through your multidimensional awareness. You're going to move through some of this energetic stagnation, like we talked about, and you can move through this really quick. I mean, how fast did you actually let go of some of those things, right? Maybe it needs a little more, but we'll get there. And then, of course, it is a private community. Some of it's going to seem a little more open, I think, in a way, and you'll see that in just a minute. But I think that might add to your experience within Mystique, and I'm really glad that we got excited about this and chose this. So I wrote up a little bit about how we look at ourselves, that we are that mystic meets maven type. We're the galactic babes, multi-dimensional misfits.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. But this is sort of the vision of where I want who you should be.
Multi-dimensional misfits. That's great. Yeah.
All right. So here's what's in it, just to kind of keep this light. There's 2 versions. First of all, if you are already in it, you are going to continue to get exactly what you got.
We're not changing anything.
You don't have to take any action, but there might be incentive for you to make a shift. You have to choose who you are. I'm kind of looking at this as having 2 different archetypes. One archetype is, I love the camaraderie, I love the private community, and I'm good with that, right? That's all I want.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's all I want, and that's fine. And what's in that, and of course you'll still get the initial things that we offered you. You just have to remind us what we offered you. Just kidding. No, and we can look back and match, right?
Right.
So there'll be a full 2-hour mastermind with both of us, and that is on Wednesday nights, the second Wednesday of every month at 4 p.m. Pacific. And it is on Zoom. but it's not that boring old, like sit in front of camera
No.
Zoom, like you're participating in this.
Everybody's
We force
unmuted.
everyone to
Mhm.
participate in a way, but you don't have to participate.
You can listen to the replays as well.
Yeah. Of course, and everyone that either if you get program 1 or program 2 is going to get all of this. Then you're going to get priority question asking, like on the show when we have a big speaker and you guys want to ask your psychic meeting question, you are the first and you are the priority, and that's for both these groups.
Sure.
Lastly, I did change this a little bit. So now we've decided you get $200 off a private session with us, making our sessions $150 each. And you can choose me or Lianka one a month.
Mhm.
Okay. And then that's package A. This is the
Plus
new,
all of the benefits that we had already promised you if you've already
Yeah.
been. Yes.
and then this is a platform that we thought we could really host Mystique on. Beyond that one single meeting. And this is like a daily thing that we can do together and we can actively engage in together every single day.
It's exciting.
So this is like a growth day. We went to this big event. It was called Growth Day. It's by one of my very first coaches in 2009 or 2010 named Brendan Bouchard. A lot of people know about him. He has always been an inspiration. I haven't learned everything from him. I have a lot of different mentors, but he is my first. And I was in his $10,000 program, and he was the one that really gave me confidence to go for it. So this isn't just like a phone app. This is both a desktop and an app. And here's what we're going to do inside that program. I'm going to personally offer a life creativity hypnosis series every Friday. And it is going to be like a short one, like 30 minutes, and then it's going to be a Q&A with me where we can just talk about anything. And what I'd like to even attract is people that want to talk about business and, and if they want to talk about that, they can talk about that. It's like not just a spiritual, but it's also pragmatic. We can talk about productivity. We can talk about all the things. So it's going to be a 2-part. It's going to be a 1 hour, and it's going to be at the same time as our show, except it's on Friday instead of Tuesday and Thursday. It's kind of what it looks like in the phone part of the app. What I love about it most is it has these like daily points where you can track, and every single day that you show up, like you get in their program, you get points. And
it's
he gave
gamified, right?
Right.
That's exciting.
And if you
like
hit,
Duolingo.
Yeah, it's like Duolingo. And if you hit a streak for the month, then he sends like the top contributors prizes. And sometimes the prizes are really nice. He was showing us like this really nice water bottle prize that people were getting this month. So every month he kind of sees, who all like got all their streaks, and then you get a prize at the end.
And truthfully,
really
the
cool.
real big prize is that if you're hitting your streak, you're changing, right?
You're changing your life.
Yes,
right?
You're doing the things that you most said you wanted to do.
Right.
And holding more value to those things that are going to be big drivers for your life.
It's a very much choose your own adventure. And I'll show you how it works in this next one. But I'm calling it the Daily Dream Explorer with growth streaks and rewards. And what's inside of it is you get like a journal, right? And again, it's on the desktop. So, those of us that can type and write can really go at it.
You can also use your little voice recorder and journal in that way too.
You can journal that way.
I'm not a typer. That's why she writes up so much more than I do.
Well, and then there's the typos, in which case I get to judge myself on too.
Oh, we
left at the last minute yesterday. I changed the newsletter and I had a typo like right in the second sentence. Oh, you did. I knew it. I was like, well, it.
I didn't even
Sometimes
say
you win,
anything.
sometimes you lose.
Hey, we compliment each other.
Um, and then there's this checklist where you can like actually say, today I'm going to do this, 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 and this, which is kind of cool. I'll show you the visuals. It's down here. You can habit track it. You can do notes in it, like what's on your mind. The journal is really, really cool because say you're like, I wrote 2 things on what I was struggling back, and you look back on it and you're like, wow, that was actually January of last year. And now I see that
Yes.
habit coming up again. And I think that that's why that was the game changer for this. That's why I thought this is absolutely invaluable
Yeah.
as a tool. This
Mhm.
is well done for those of us that really want to work on growth every single day. This is a no-brainer. So here's a bigger picture. He has this daily fire. It's just an inspiration. They're like between like 8 and 11 minutes. So he invites you to start there. And then he invites you to make a checklist down here, which is like, here's what I want. This is how it looks on the desktop.
And like, yeah, I wish
Uh,
I had this, as an
years
app.
ago.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I was over
years
there
ago.
with my little weird stuff.
I really love doing it too. Um, Also in the app, you get 24 access to Brendan AI. We're calling it the AI Life Coach, where you can just say, vent at 2 in the morning is how I wrote this up, and say, I'm frustrated, I can't sleep, I'm mad at my life, I'm, mad at whatever. And it can actually give you advice and inspiration to move you forward. It gives you this little pep talk and actually some real helpful steps I found. It's been kind of
Yeah,
fun.
it's really interesting because
Yeah.
look, he wrote 5 books. I could be paraphrasing
More
that
than
right.
that, I think.
And personal development. So he's definitely taken the time to do the research, do the information, to put all of these in and tons of different articles on almost every topic that it has around self-development. And so what the AI does is that it goes through all of that archive of even his talks and pulls forth the information that you most need to hear around some of these more common things. Because how many times do we walk around saying the same stuff to each other,
Yeah,
as if it's been programmed,
right.
as if it has been pre-programmed, saying that I feel like I can't do this today. I'm so terrified about a presentation I'm going to give tomorrow, or I'm really struggling with my marriage, right?
Mhm.
And it'll pull forth the information that has been written and published, and it's really, really really inspiring.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I felt like it was a breath of fresh air. And like it was talking to me real time, because we know how AI works. So it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're calling this the visioneer side of things, because this is more those people that are like, I'm dedicated to this. I'm on it every day, which is why I
Like me, where I know I want to be I want to be much more productive.
yeah.
And I consider myself a visioneer, but there are times where I'm valuing other things that are, that don't have other things besides doing the things that I know that would move me forward. And I wish there was a way. I had always wished there was a way that I could keep myself a little more accountable. So
Yeah.
this is that.
Well, and it's simple.
Simple. There you go.
Here's some of the other coaches that are in it, which you might know, Mel Robbins, Jamie Kern Lima. She wrote a book called Worthy. So she has a lot of conversations and a lot of beautiful stories about it. There's Ed Milet, there's Brendan, and then there's Trent Shelton as well, who he was actually in another training. Like, I'm trying to remember what he talks about. Every single Monday, Ed Milet does a little call. So I put that in here. I looked at it yesterday. It's kind of cool. It's what it looks like in the desktop version.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
And then there's another 2-hour personal development that is live with Brendan, also on Fridays. So I put that in here too. Whoops.
And everything is available on replay. So if you
Yeah.
can't make it to something live, I mean, all of this is available on replay.
Yeah.
If you can't make it to one of the things live. So just know that you still get, and a lot of people do join
Yeah.
on replay. I always say that.
So this is kind of, I know that this isn't a big difference in price, but it might be a difference in your life investment. And we're not, biased to one or the other. Those of you that are on the main program, you're welcome to stay, right? We're just calling it Mystique Society, just the regular. And then we've got this Mystique Society, the Visioneering, which inside the app, then you would actually have access to me. And I'm trying to get Leonka to do something
Yes,
too.
I am.
So you'll have access to us in different ways. So, and this is, you saw what I went through. This is just the original, and then this is the new program. So,
I mean, it both have extraordinary value. You can see those values stacked upon each other.
yeah,
The traditional Mystique Society, the full hour is $700 value, 250, 350, and then we turn around and do that for $37 a month. And then of course the Visioneering, Mystique Society Visioneering, plus all of those values, plus the value of the entire app, which they have their own values assigned to them. So you can see, and that's just $49 for those who are listening on, listening to us more audio. Those are very exciting invitations, really, very exciting invitations that we wanted to make it super easy for people to choose it. We always say that too.
Yeah. So if you are currently in it and you do want to switch, first of all, first thing you need to know, it has a 7-day trial. We're not going to always leave that up, but right now we want you guys to try it and see if you like it. So when you go to this button, you can go ahead and just try it. Just start a trial for 7 days. If unless you already know, I love what we have right now, I'm just going to stay. But
if you want to check it out.
But if you want to check it out, it has a 7-day trial so that you can also see what their content is in it. And I mean, it's not as spacious as us in a lot of ways, but some of that contraction that you might feel by it not being spacious might be stuff for us to process on too. So it might also bring up content of what you're noticing about your habits and patterns in the time that we don't have our meeting.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is that in the self-development space, there is kind of like, I don't want to say that's this divide, but what I found super fascinating and fun was that we have the opportunity to bring this more mystic, spiritual side of the personal development to an app like this, uniting those two in more unified front. Instead of it being contracted, how can we take some of those concepts that we kind of grew up with and really bring those in, even the questions that you might have around that, to the Mystique Society meetings, so that we create this really unified feeling and unity of mysticism meets the personal development. And Jeneth and I looked at each other and said, we have to be this for
our group. I mean, and she was more 100%, and I was more like, let me look, let me feel this out, until finally it hit me, and I was like, yes.
And if we don't, someone else might, right? Some other, hopefully, mystic, kind of, because there's a really big hole there.
A huge hole.
And we know, because we're all light workers, we're star seeds, we know what that hole is, right? So you having that to bridge was, I thought, a really great opportunity to have people really get that journey together. So that was just my little thought process there.
Yeah. This is for, I mean, I know that you all aren't in the same place, and I know that sometimes you just, are fine, like with our monthly meeting
Yeah,
and
it's great.
you're like, I don't have time to make a checklist of the 5 things I want to do every day. I don't have time to like listen to anything else. I'm good, right? And then there's the other people like me and Leonka that are like, we want to grow every single day and we want to even watch some of this growth so that we can share it with you. And here's a place where it collects. Um, and I think it's a really, really well designed. And I'm not a fan of apps in any way, especially on my phone. But when I found out that you can do just as much on the desktop, I was like, I'm in.
I like that.
This is for me. And this is actually, I mean, I do Peloton and track it. I do Duolingo and track it. So I'm just going to do Growth Day and track it.
Love him or hate him, Grant Cardone is one of the
Yeah.
biggest I guess thought leaders of our time, arguably. Arguably, he's got a big following, but he does bring up some good points. And one of the speakers that were on a stage said, it says, if it's important to you, if it's important to you, track it.
Yeah.
He says, even the time that you spent with your family, track it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super, super interesting because there are lots of times where I'm like, yeah, I think that's important, or yeah, I want that to be important.
Yeah.
I have no idea how much I'm spending time doing some restless stuff.
Yeah.
Restless. I just made up a word. Restless.
Restless. I'm like even adding gardening to mine, which now means just water my blueberries out in the front. All right, so to answer your question, if you guys want to switch, I don't care if you're on the pre-plate or not. We will, if you want to switch, just let us know. Send us an email at team@HowHustle, and we'll credit back some of that from the 6-month offer.
Yeah.
We'll see what our balance is at.
Just send us an email. We'll definitely get you taken care of.
Yeah.
If you're already in the program, if you're already part of a Mystique, just send us an email and we'll get you taken care of.
And the other way, if you already are in and you just know that you want this, we'll just cancel this one and you can just purchase the other one through the link.
There you go.
So what other questions do you guys have?
Paula says it's no different than tracking your bank account daily or your food intake, right? If it's important.
But who does that?
If it's important,
yeah,
you track it. Yeah. Joe says it looks like a really powerful app to me.
Yeah, it
is.
Yeah,
it's
again,
neat.
Try it. And don't tell us for 7 days that if you want out or not, right? Just give it a try, and we will figure out the money on our end.
If you're already in there.
Yeah. Any other questions that you have? I'm going to put this link in the newsletter, but I'm also going to put it in the chat right now if you just want to click the button and start. Yeah, make sure the button works. Okay, cool. It does work.
It looks really great.
I guess that goes to the not 7-day trial. So
yeah, it is right there. Just try it free for 7 days monthly. Cool. There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, great. So I am becoming a fan, so I'm hoping that you will at least give it a try. I love that.
Yeah, me too. At 12:12 where we are right now.
Let me stop my share. I can't figure out how to. Here we go.
Yeah, we're super excited.
I think it'll be a space for us to really play and grow together.
It's time for us starseeds to take charge. Light workers unite.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So let us know if you have any more questions. You can always email us at team@HowHustle and or reply to some of the emails we've sent you. Just another reminder, which I should say at the beginning, but if you are watching this on YouTube, we'd love if you'd like and subscribe and make a comment or just at least some sort of words, because it does make a difference.
It does help us change the world by helping the algorithm, right?
Yeah. So if you'd like this call, we'd love to hear like some of the clearings that really rocked your world earlier too.
And there's tons of more of that in the weekly calls. And of course, continue to show up every Tuesday and Thursday for our live show. And exciting news, at the end of the month, at the end of May, we have a brand new summit. I'm excited because I've been working on behind the scenes booking people and lots of great speakers and having some very dynamic conversations. So that's going to be super juicy.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of channeling, which will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
then they're taking questions and they'll be doing live activations. I mean, it is going to be a good time. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Next Tuesday.
Thursday.
Sorry, I always keep doing that every week. I want to be like a different day.
Next Thursday, we have Holly Anahatha Hallowell. She does a lot on Metatron, but she knows so much. So we'll probably find various directions to go with her. Should be a dynamic call on Thursday.
Yeah. Everyone, thank you for joining us today. We love you, appreciate you. Continue to go out there and, keep changing the world with us.
Yes, please. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.